Coming up on the Children's Hour, we're learning about renewable energy. It's power that never runs out. Experts Rebecca Puck Stair, Jim DesJardins, and Dr. Sherri Kelly join us to explain solar, wind, geothermal, and hydropower, and why they're so important for our future. The Kids crew ask big questions about greenhouse gases and the transition away from fossil fuels, and what kids can do to make a difference. This episode has a learning guide at childrenshour.org. Look for renewable energy. Stick with us for the Children's Hour. The Children's Hour is an independent production of the Children's Hour Incorporated, a New Mexico-based nonprofit. We're distributed by Native Voice One, the Native American radio network.
It's time for the Children's Hour, Kids Public Radio.
What did the mommy light bulb say to the baby light bulb?
I don't know what.
I love you, Watts and Watts.
It's time for the Children's Hour, Kids Public Radio.
Excuse me. I have a general announcement to make. Sorry, it's quite inconvenient. We're running out of oil. It's going to be hard to live if we don't find some alternatives to oil. Because pretty much everything we do uses oil. Let me list some of the things made with oil. There's computers, light bulbs, toothpaste, cat food, dog food, owl food, microwaves, umbrellas, blankets, glasses, crayons, fridges, pharmaceuticals, houses, trucks and boats and planes and clothes and roads and phones and shops and farms and Uranti's underpants. If we don't find a solution, we won't have them anymore. Cause pretty soon there will be no more oil. We don't need cars. Well, we didn't in my day. Maybe now we do. But we could also walk, use bicycles, and ride horses. Instead of oil, and coal, and uranium, use clean, renewable resources. Like the sun. See, it has heaps of energy, beaming down for free, feeding plants and trees. Make use of these kind of natural forces and use clean, renewable resources. Why mine gas? Seems silly to me when you can make your own from the comfort of your throne with a methane digester. Oh yes. You see, the future of energy is in predominantly biological processes. So be a clean, renewable investor. Use and value clean, renewable, clean, renewable, clean, renewable services and resources. Once again. Clean, renewable, clean, renewable, clean, renewable services and resources. It's time to do away with fossil fuels and just get back to the soil. Because let's face it, it's the end of oil. Yes, let's face it, it's the end of oil. We might as well face it, it's the end of oil.
That's Formidable Vegetable from their Permaculture A Rhymer's Manual. You're listening to the Children's Hour. I'm Katie Stone. We're at the Outpost Performance Space with a whole lot of kids and on Zoom. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And who do we have with us today?
Hello, it's Amadeus.
Hey, it's Nina.
Hi, it's Max. Hi, it's Asa.
Hi, it's Killian.
Hi, it's Daniel.
Hi, it's Amaya.
Hi, it's Juan. Hello, it's Lucas D. Hi, it's Bia.
Well, thank you all for being here at the Outpost. Today, we are going to learn about renewable energy. Does anyone have a clue what I mean by renewable energy?
Energy that we can use over and over again.
Oh, that seems right. That's a good start at a definition, but we're going to also get all the different kinds of renewable energy that there are. We've got experts from the renewable energy industries here, including solar, geothermal, wind, and more. You're listening to the Children's Hour. Let's learn about renewable energy together today on the show. You can learn more at childrenshour.org, where we've posted learning materials. Look for renewable energy. This is Hayes Greenfield from his Music for a Green Planet, right here on the Children's Hour.
Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, climate change is not a fantasy. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the scientists know it's a reality. The ice caps are melting with every degree, while polar bear habitats melt into the sea. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, we need green renewable energy. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, our planet is changing, we can't disagree. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, let's fix it together creatively. We have so much freedom to live as we choose. We must not be selfish with all that we use. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the answer is green, clean energy. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, perhaps we should think more scientifically. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, there's a whole new green energy industry. Freedom is power, let's use it for good, and care for our planet the way that we should. Fiddle-dee-dee and fiddle-dee-dee, we need green renewable energy. Fiddle-dee-dee and fiddle-dee-dee, we have to improve our community. Fiddle-dee-dee and fiddle-dee-dee, 'cause global warming's a reality. Let's think more scientifically and create green renewable energy.
You're listening to the Children's Hour. I'm Katie Stone. Today we're learning about renewable energy. And with us on the show is Rebecca, also known as Puck, Stair. She's New Mexico's director of the State Energy Office, which we here in New Mexico call MNERD. Welcome to the Children's Hour, Puck.
I'm so glad to be here.
I'm really glad to have you. Puck oversees and supports New Mexico's renewable transition. We also have with us Jim DesJardins. He is an expert in solar. He's the executive director of the Renewable Energies Industry Association of New Mexico. Welcome to the Children's Hour, Jim.
I am so glad to be here.
Really glad to have you. And Sherri Kelly is from Socorro, New Mexico. She's a geologist and geophysicist at the New Mexico Bureau of Geology. Welcome to the Children's Hour, Sherri.
Happy to be here.
Great to have you. Sherri is an expert in geothermal. We are also going to learn about wind, but first, let's go to Killian.
What is renewable energy?
Renewable energy. Yeah, see, it's a mouthful, Puck.
Renewable energy is something that renews, something that you can use over and over and over. So fossil fuels like oil and gas, we can suck them up from the ground, but once you burn it once and then it's gone. But a renewable source is like solar or wind, where once you use sunshine on a Monday, guess what? And when you wake up on Tuesday, there's still sunshine. So it's renewable and we can use it over and over and over.
Why did people make renewable energy?
Why do they make renewable energy? What are we using this for?
Well, renewable energy is clean. It doesn't pollute our air. It doesn't warm our planet necessarily when we use it. Another reason is, in some ways, you don't have to pay for it, right? No one charges you money for solar, but they do charge you money for gasoline. So it can be much, much cheaper to use renewables. And there's some other benefits too, where if you think about it, the sun is kind of everywhere, right? And the wind is everywhere. But coal is only in certain places. So when you dig it up, then you have to move it to where you want to use it. And it can make it expensive.
We hear so much about the negative effects of too much carbon dioxide and fossil fuels. What specifically makes them so bad for the environment? What do they do?
So you're talking about what we call greenhouse gases, and we call them greenhouse gases because they have a greenhouse effect on planet Earth. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a greenhouse.
Okay, everybody's raising their hand in the room.
Now, tell me about the temperature in the greenhouse.
It's often very, very humid and particularly hot, like 95 degrees or even a little warmer sometimes.
Exactly. So these gases that fossil fuels put into our atmosphere have the same effect on planet Earth as what you felt in a greenhouse. That's why we call them greenhouse gases. So carbon dioxide, methane, and there's about 20 of them, change how the sunlight interacts with the air and heats up the planet. And that's why it's so bad.
Would all of our energy be renewable someday?
I sure hope so. It'll be a cleaner planet and cheaper electricity.
You're listening to the Children's Hour. We're learning about renewable energy today. Our guests are Rebecca Puck Stair. We call her Puck. She's the director of the State Energy Office here in New Mexico. Jim DesJardins, he is the executive director of the Renewable Energies Industry Association of New Mexico. And Sherri Kelly, she's a geologist and geophysicist at the New Mexico Bureau of Geology. There is a lot more to learn. Stick with us.
Stop chopping down our trees. Stop using plastic things. Carpool and drive EVs and give back to the earth we've been given. Cut down the milk and meat. Green power, the lights and heat. We'll sing this song on repeat as we do our part for the world that we live in. I'm Earth, the planet that you're on, you know, but I'm not feeling so well. My temperature's rising, species are dying, floods, droughts, and fires no longer surprising. I'm losing trees and my islands slowly disappear. It's getting harder and harder to make a home for you here.
Hey Earth, let me break it down for him. We're making those greenhouse gases, trapping heat in the atmosphere. They come from cars and plastics, cows and factories here. We're burning oil and coal and all that natural gas, releasing carbon dioxide and methane and releasing them fast. But hey, folks gotta live, yeah. People need to live, but look at what you give to the children after you. You need me, ooh, and I need you.
Hey, we'll stop chopping down our trees. They absorb carbon dioxide.
We'll switch over to EVs or carpool, go for a bike ride.
We'll stop using plastic things and take our own bags to the store. Let's change up the way we eat, a little less milk and meat. Let's switch to renewable power, unplug and take shorter showers. But please don't stop taking showers, that would be gross.
Stop chopping down our trees. Stop using plastic things. Carpool and drive EVs and give back to the earth that we give in. Cut down the milk and meat. Green power, the lights and heat. And sing write our governments and tell them to change. They might say it's impossible, but we can hold them responsible and help them to lead in cleaner energy. What we do now will reverberate for centuries. We'll stop chopping down our trees, stop using plastic things, carpool and drive EVs, and give back to the earth we've been given. Cut down the milk and meat, green power the lights and heat. We'll sing this song on repeat as we do our part for the world that we live in. We'll stop chopping down our trees, stop using plastic things, we'll carpool and drive EVs, and give back to the earth we've been given. Cut down the milk and meat, green power the lights and heat. We'll sing this song on repeat as we do our part for the world that we live in. We'll start today, chopping down our trees today, using plastic things today, yeah, yeah. Back to the earth we've been given. Cut down the milk and meat, green power the lights and heat. We'll sing this song on repeat as we do our part for the world that we live in. We'll start today. Sun shining on the roof of our house, roof of our house. Sun shining down, sun shining down. Minute by minute, hour by hour, we got solar power. Minute by minute, hour by hour, we got solar power, solar power. Sun shining on the roof of our house, roof of our house. Sun shining down, sun shining down. Well, I wake up in the morning, have a hot, hot shower, solar power. Wake up in the morning, have a hot, hot shower, solar power, solar power shower. Well, I jump on my bike, ride to school, riding down the street. It looks really cool. Every single house in my street, shining bright in the shimmering heat, has solar power, solar power. Computers at school are lots of fun, 'cause they are powered by the sun. Computers are okay, but what's more cool is playing outside, breaking the rules, playing the fool. Some smart schools enjoying the view of old gum trees, sky so blue. Some smart schools are where it's at, so always wear a sun smart hat, 'cause the sun's shining down, sun shining down, sun shining down. All the hot's gonna burn your crown. 'Cause the sun's shining on the roof of our hats, roof of our hats. Sun shining down, sun shining down. Well, my family and my community are feeling so happy, feeling so free, receiving this clean energy from the sky, from the sea. We got solar power, water power, wind power, hour by hour by hour. From country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community. Country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community. Country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community. Country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community. Country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community. Country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community. Country towns to the city, living in a sun smart community.
You're listening to the Children's Hour, Kids Public Radio. We'll be right back.
The Children's Hour is a production of the Children's Hour Incorporated. We're a New Mexico-based nonprofit organization supported by listeners just like you. You can learn more about us at childrenshour.org. New Mexico Department of Cultural Affairs supports the Children's Hour. Museum of International Folk Art and Museum of Indian Arts and Culture in Santa Fe, New Mexico celebrate cultural heritage from New Mexico and across the world. More at moifa.org. Welcome back to the Children's Hour. I'm Katie Stone, and today on the show, we're learning about renewable energy. There are many different kinds of renewable energy, and we're excited for you to learn with us. And Stair, she's from the New Mexico Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department, as well as Jim DesJardins. He is the president of the New Mexico Renewables Association. And Dr. Sherri Kelly is at New Mexico Tech. She's an expert in geothermal. Let's go over to Nina.
What types of renewable energy are there, and how are these produced?
There's a lot, and we're inventing and discovering new ones all the time. Solar, which is one. Wind is another one. Sherri here can talk about geothermal electricity. And then there's really wild new inventions like, have you ever been at the beach and the waves come in and they push on you? There's a gizmo you can put in the waves that takes that pushing energy and also turns it into electricity, and more and more and more. So there's new kinds of renewable energy being invented every day.
Solar panels, we're seeing them all over the place. What are they doing, Jim DesJardins?
They're taking the sun. When they hit the panels get excited, essentially, and then they generate energy. So there's a lot going on inside the panels to make that happen. But it generates electricity, and then that electricity, which is what we call direct current or DC energy, goes into a device that we call an inverter and converts that energy to alternating current or AC, which we use in our homes.
You mean like AC is the energy that comes out of the outlets in our house, like when we plug something in, that's AC energy?
That is AC energy.
Does it always begin as DC and then has to be converted to AC? Is that like a normal thing with all energy?
That is the energy that's in the solar panels that comes out of the solar panels is direct current or DC energy.
What about geothermal? Can you explain that to us, Sherri?
It's where we take heat from the earth, and there's a couple of different approaches. One is in certain places, there's actually volcanic activity, and it causes the water in the vicinity of the volcano to convert to steam, and you can take that steam out of the ground and put it into a power plant and turn a turbine and make electricity. Heat is always increasing as you go to greater depth in the earth. And at temperatures around 300 degrees Fahrenheit, you can take that hot water out of the ground and you can pass it through a heat exchanger, and you can use that boiling fluid to turn a turbine and produce electricity.
Let's talk about wind energy. How are we getting energy from the wind? You mentioned that, Puck.
Sure. We've talked a couple times already on the show about turbines, which is basically you take a ring of magnets and you spin it, and that makes electricity. You can also make a giant windmill or a small windmill, and the wind turns the blades, it turns the arms, and you can see the windmill spinning, and that spinning turns a turbine also. So it turns a ring of magnets and makes electricity.
I guess I just want to know, they built like this hydroelectric power dam. Is it like a good source, or is there too many like bad things to it?
I'm going to give you two answers, Amaya, because there's two different kinds of hydroelectric. So one is flowing the water through a dam and, again, turning a turbine to make electricity. And that's just straightforward hydroelectric. It is clean. It produces a lot of electricity. It doesn't produce emissions, but sometimes in making the dam, there can be some environmental damage and some effects to the river and the biology in the river. There's a second kind, which is called hydro storage, which is newer, and it's where you can be connected to a river, but you're separate from a river and you have the same bunch of water that during the day, when you have the extra electricity, you pump the water uphill and you keep it in a lake at the top of a hill. And then when you need electricity, you let it flow down the hill through the turbines to make electricity. And then when you have extra electricity, you pump it back up the hill again. That's called closed loop or hydro storage. And that has much less environmental damage and can store quite a lot of electricity.
So that's like the cleaner version of it.
Well, they do different things. One of them is a way of storing electricity from wind or sun. It doesn't make any extra electricity. And then the first kind makes electricity. So I think we need them both.
We've used that kind of electricity for forever as human beings when we see these like paddle wheels in a river that power a mill, for example. That's hydropower.
Actually, renewable energy goes back a very, very long time, and it's been used in different ways. Now, I can speak a little bit about solar panels, and that was invented in laboratories in the United States maybe 80 years ago.
Windmills go back really far, even to Europe and medieval times. And they were originally the same power of the wind to turn the windmill was used not to make electricity, but as a pump to suck water up from where it is underneath the ground.
That's Puck Stair. She's from the New Mexico Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department. And you also heard from Jim DesJardins. He is the president of the New Mexico Renewables Association. And Dr. Sherri Kelly is an expert in geothermal at New Mexico Tech. We have a lot more to learn about renewable energy. We have learning materials posted with this episode. Go to childrenshour.org and look for Renewable Energy. Our learning guides meet and cite national education standards and come with a lot of activities. You can find those all at childrenshour.org. There's a lot more coming up, but first, this is Monty Harper from Songs from the Science Frontier, right here on the Children's Hour.
This is the sun shining down on Earth. This is the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. This is the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. This is the wind blowing in beneath the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. This is the rotor spinning in the wind blowing in beneath the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. This is the generator running on the rotor spinning in the wind blowing in beneath the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. Electricity flowing from the generator running on the rotor spinning in the wind blowing in beneath the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. This is the light from the lamp I lit with electricity flowing from the generator running on the rotor spinning in the wind blowing in beneath the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. This is the book I'm reading in the light from the lamp I lit with electricity flowing from the generator running on the rotor spinning in the wind blowing in beneath the air rising up through the warmth of the sun shining down on Earth. What is the tide title of the book I'm reading. In the light from the lamp I lit, with electricity flowing from the generator, running on the rotor, spinning in the wind, blowing in beneath the air, rising up through the warmth of the sun, shining down on earth. This is the sun shining down on earth, is the title of the book I'm reading. In the light from the lamp I lit, with electricity flowing from the generator, running on the rotor, spinning in the wind, blowing in beneath the air, rising up through the warmth of the sun, shining down on earth. This is the sun 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 shining down on earth with energy.
Un, dos, tres, va. Electricity. Who turned the lights out? Electricity. I feel so lonely without electricity. Computer not go. Electricity. Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it on, no.
I used to make a fire to heat a cup of tea. Now I'm plugged into a grid, serving electricity, and I'm shaving with it, and I'm raving with it. Invisible glue, rubber balloon on my head, stick it up there on the ceiling, it's the static keeps it there, and I'm drying with it, and I'm frying with it.
Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it on, no. Electricity. I need electricity to give me superpower. Electricity. Give me some hydro-electricity. Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it on, no.
I wire up a lemon, I wire up a lime, I wire up a hamster wheel, it's spinning all the time. Now I'm making light, but it's not so bright. I catch a swarm of eels, electric by the way, 600 volts of fish, the night is bright as day, and it's such a laugh. But don't get in my bath.
Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it on, no.
That's Fleabite and Levity Beat singing about electricity, which is what we're thinking about today. We're thinking about renewable energy, and we're learning about that with Puck Stair. She's from MNERD, the Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department here in the state of New Mexico. Jim DesJardins from the New Mexico Renewable Energy Industry Association. And Sherri Kelly is from New Mexico Tech, and she is an expert in geothermal. We have a lot more to learn about renewable energy, and you can learn even more at childrenshour.org. Look for a learning guide that has curriculum in it that meets and cites national education standards. There's activities too, and lots of cool stuff. Find it all at childrenshour.org. Look for renewable energy. Let's go over to Amaya.
So I guess this question came up because I've heard that we're predicted to run out of oil in 2050. Well, the question comes in because we've talked about different renewable energy sources. I just want to know if are they going to be up and running to support most of the world by then, before it runs out, I guess.
Amaya, that's a great question. And that is why I wake up and go to work every day. That is what I do for you every day, all day long, is try to make sure that they are ready. There is a lot of good news happening. So New Mexico is actually in a really great place. The electricity that's powering the show right now is about 40% renewable already. And we've gotten there in about 10 or 20 years. So we got there really quick. Now, the next 60%, it gets harder and harder for all these technical reasons. We're trying really hard, but it's going to take all of us working together.
Why is it still so uncommon compared to fossil fuels, and why is the transition to a sustainable energy system taking so long?
There's probably 4 or 5 different reasons that are all coming together. There's just some new technology, new kinds of geothermal. We've got new kinds of solar. We've got some experiments to do, like in a lab, to test new ways of making electricity. So that's number one. Number two is sometimes the electricity where you can make it is not in the same place where you need it. Even though there is sun everywhere and there is wind everywhere, sometimes the wind and the sun are stronger somewhere else, like outside the city or away from your home. So one of the challenges is moving the electricity from where it's made to where it's consumed, is what it's called, so your house. So we build wires for that. I'm sure you've seen the wires and the poles that go along your street. That carries electricity. And there's small versions of those and there's big versions of those that go across the country. That's called the grid, all these wires strung all over the place. And right now, our grid was built for the old way of making electricity. So you have a central fossil fuel power station in the middle, and then kind of radiating spokes of wires going out for miles and miles beyond that. So the grid is built in that shape, and we need a different shape for wind and solar. So we're having to rebuild. Number 3 is a little more political, and I think it's about how humans do change. I think change can be scary. Change has a lot of uncertainties. And when you're talking about electricity, you're talking about powering hospitals and powering things that are important to people, their weddings. They want to make sure that something they can rely on. It might be easier to go with something that you know, even if it has downsides. And then the 4th is, I would say, follow the money. There's a lot of people who make money off of the way things are done today, and they don't want to give that up.
It is hard for people to make a change when their wallet is involved, right? And for homeowners, you're telling them, oh, I should put $10,000 of solar panels on my roof, and you promise me that's going to save me money in electricity. Well, my bill is never $10,000, so it can't possibly save me money. Well, if your bill is $150 a month, in 7 years, your electricity is not going to cost you anything.
Sort of along those lines, I have to wonder, is renewable energy going to get cheaper for consumers? Because right now, I hear about a lot of people who would love to take that time and go fully solar, but don't necessarily have the means to.
That's a great question. Yes, I think it's going to get cheaper. And I will say there's lots of help available from lots of governments to help people get over that hump. So with the transition to the renewable energy, a lot of times there's a lot of money involved up front in the transition, but then after, say, you've installed the solar panels, it's cheaper afterwards. Lots of governments have tax incentives, or banks will offer very cheap loans, or there's sometimes even grants available to just help pay up front, because a lot of governments are recognizing that we have to help to get everyone over the hump, and then it's better for everyone on the backside.
Are there any countries in the world that are running 100% renewable energy?
Several. Ecuador, mostly with their hydropower. There are many. Pakistan is getting very far. India is getting very far. China is ahead of everybody, and they're not fully there, but they are going there very quickly.
Isn't Iceland 100% geothermal now?
Yes. Thank you. That was the other one.
That's Puck Stair. She's the director of the State Energy Office here in New Mexico, which we call MNERD. You're also hearing the voice of Jim DesJardins. He is the executive director of the Renewable Energies Industries Association of New Mexico, and Sherri Kelly, who is a geologist and geophysicist at the New Mexico Bureau of Geology. And today we're learning about renewable energy.
You're listening to the Children's Hour, Kids Public Radio. We'll be right back.
The Children's Hour is now producing weekly educational modules to go with every episode, thanks to a grant from the Albuquerque Community Foundation. You can support this effort too. Go to childrenshour.org and click Donate. The Children's Hour is grateful to the Outpost Performance Space in Albuquerque, New Mexico for hosting our recordings. Many thanks to New Mexico Arts, a division of the New Mexico Department of Cultural Affairs, and the National Endowment for the Arts for their support of the Children's Hour. The Children's Hour is grateful to the City of Albuquerque Cultural Services Department and the Urban Enhancement Trust Fund for their support.
What are we doing? We gotta cut out that fossil fueling. No time to waste, no time for fooling. It's time to act, so let's start moving and come on, come on, come on. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. We know that you can. We know that you can. For our children and for us, all of us. Na 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 na. Our world's on fire. Floods are rampant and the oceans rise higher. Oil is on the out, don't get left behind. Solar will bring profit and more peace of mind. So come on, come on, come on. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. Give us a greener plan. We know that you can. We know that you can. We know that you can. For our children and for us, all of us. Na 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 Hey, Congress! The science is clear. We must act now, don't wait till next year. You have the power to make the right choices. You work for us, so hear our voices and come on, come on, come on. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. Give us a greener plan. Know that you can. Give us a greener plan. We know that you can. We know that you can. We know that you can. For our children and for us, all of us. Na 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 na
Esther Crow right here on the Children's Hour, where we're learning about renewable energy, and you can learn a lot more. Find a learning guide that has vocabulary, activities, a reading guide, and so much more at childrenshour.org. look for renewable energy. Our guests today are Rebecca Puck Stair. She's from MNERD. That's New Mexico State's energy department, essentially. And Jim DesJardins is from the Renewable Energies Industry Association of New Mexico. And we also have Dr. Sherri King. She's from New Mexico Tech. We know our planet needs us to change to producing electricity in a renewable fashion such that when we become the ancestors, we have made the transition to renewables and have made a livable planet for our great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Amadeus, let's go over to you.
Does solar energy work equally well everywhere, or in some places where you might not get the same type of sunlight, is it not necessarily as sustainable?
First of all, we're blessed in New Mexico to have the second best solar access of all the states in the country. So this is a really good place to have solar. But solar works everywhere. Now, I'm from Chicago. If you put a solar system in Chicago, it will work very well, but it will produce about 25% less energy than that same size system in New Mexico.
Obviously, for solar energy, we're not seeing it at night.
Well, yes, that's correct. And that's why a big interest now is in something called energy storage, so that we can take the energy that's generated by the solar during the day, and sometimes we can actually have too much of it. So we put it into energy storage, typically a battery, and then you could dispatch that at a later time.
Is it safe to say that solar is the best type of renewable energy?
Oh, those fighting words. They're all different. Well, okay, so let's say you say solar is the best type. What's your plan for nighttime?
That depends on the degree of how well we have energy storage down now.
You've got it. So I think we need all the kinds. And when we mix them all together, we have something that's the best for any scenario. So solar is great in the day, but to get through the nighttime, you might need to add some batteries. Wind might help you day or night, but then sometimes the wind's not blowing. So wind and storage are a good combination. This is where geothermal and Sherri's work is really important, because geothermal is what's called clean, firm electricity. Clean meaning it doesn't emit emissions, and firm meaning it's available all the time, around the clock. So if you pair those three together, you've got a pretty good start. And then if you add some of the hydro storage and tidal storage, you start getting a really fun, diverse mix, and diversity is strength.
What can everyday people like us on the Children's Hour do to help push for renewable energy?
We should be advocating wherever we can. Go to committee meetings. People can make their opinions known.
You're saying that if we come together and talk to our elected representatives, that actually helps push for renewables? It does?
Yes.
Even kids?
Especially kids. Because kids have much more of a stake. We're talking about where the planet is going to be in 20, 40, 60, 80 years. I'm not going to be around anymore, but you will. And your voice is what really matters.
There's also a lot of opportunities in the renewable energy field for employment. And that is where things are going to be going. So if you're a young person, that's something you should be looking at.
And the last thing you could do is just experiment on your own. Think about electrifying your own house. Talk to your parents, convert your house, put solar panels on your house, maybe get an EV, and join the future that way.
You're talking about like replacing your gas stove with an electric stove or an induction stove.
Yes.
Your gas furnace with heat pumps. When people say heat pumps don't work in cold weather, what do you say back to that?
That was true about 30 or 40 years ago, but it's not true anymore. I have a heat pump, and when it was like -12 outside, I was cozy and warm.
That's the voice of Rebecca Puck Stair from MNERD. That's the New Mexico Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department here in the state of New Mexico. And Jim DesJardins from REIA New Mexico. That's the Renewable Energy Industry Association. And also Dr. Sherri King from New Mexico Tech, a geophysicist. Thank you all so much for being with us on the Children's Hour. We've learned a lot with you. Learn more with us at childrenshour.org. Look for this episode, Renewable Energy.
Was there an Adam? Was there an Eve? Or did we evolve from what we conceived? Either way, we got what was needed when the sun shone down on the Garden of Eden. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solatopia, Solatopia.
pay the cost. And so we went digging into the ground and started to burn many things we found. But don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world.
We multiplied, we needed more. The rich got rich, the poor got sore. The fuel ran scarce, the price jumped high, and so we gave nuclear power a try. But don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world.
But the nuclear plants were built in haste, with too many risks, no place for waste. And so from Seabrook to Shoreham town, we have to shut those new plants down. But don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world.
Now we're fighting wars over oil and gas. No matter who wins, it will not last. The earth is scarred, the planet is warming. Don't you think that all of it's a great big warning?
Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world. We'll learn to power houses and cars with the light that's made up in the stars. It's a gift to share that's always been given. It falls down to earth like rain from heaven. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green. One more time. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a UFO.
It's Interplanet Janet.
There she goes. Interplanet Janet took a trip to the shore. So many things that Janet hadn't seen before. The sun was shining down, the water felt so warm. That's when Interplanet Janet's plan was born. She said all those rays coming down for free heat the water and the air with their energy. Her little light went on, she gave a little cheer. Solar power to the people, what a bright idea. Wrote a message in the sand with her tiny toes. Solar power to the people, there she goes. Sun can do a whole lot more than make you tan. Sun can run a speedboat, sun can turn a fan. Think of all that power high up in the blue. Really is amazing what a bright idea or two can do. Janet flew to Hollywood to meet some stars, but all that she could see were about 1 million cars. Imagine solar cars, and if it came to pass, think how we'd be saving gas. All those rays coming down for free can be stored in a solar battery. So when it's raining, never fear, we'd still get from there to here, and the air would be more clear. Solar power to the people, what a bright idea. Sun can run an engine, save a lot of fuel. Sun can heat a heart-shaped swimming pool. Garden in the winter, cook a summer stew. Really is amazing what a bright idea or two can do. The sun is a source of heat, lighting, and electricity that's free and always there. And those solar panels produce energy without emitting the pollution that causes global warming. We could light a building, we could run a bus. Think of what the sun could do for us. Run a calculator, heat a little zoo. Isn't it amazing what a bright idea or two can do? Interplanet Janet, she's a galaxy girl. A solar system is from a future world. She travels like a rocket with her comet team. And Janet's got a plan to keep our planet green. Oh, the future's very near. Solar power to the people, what a bright idea. Solar power to the people, what a bright idea.
Do you know that you grow at night? Hop into bed by the moonlight. Your charging station, tuck yourself in tight. Wake up charged, you got the green light. Now it's 6 a.m., you're jumping on my bed, spinning all around with ideas in your head. Fully charged like an electric car, supernova, shooting star, running around like a velociraptor. If only I could invent an adapter, my sustainable renewable energy kid. Plug this kid right into the grid. Sunshine,
solar,
water,
hydro,
wind,
turbine,
and you. Sunshine,
solar,
water, wind,
turbine,
and you. Alright, let me tell you something. I'm a fossil, I need my fuel. The smell of coffee, it makes me drool. That dark black liquid, don't let it spill. This dead tank needs a refill. You know why? Cause it's 6 a.m., you're jumping on my bed, spinning all around with ideas in your head. Fully charged like an electric car, supernova, shooting star, running around like a velociraptor. If only I could invent an adapter, my sustainable renewable energy kid. Plug this kid right into the grid. Sunshine,
solar,
water,
hydro,
wind,
turbine,
and you. Sunshine,
solar,
water, wind,
turbine,
and you.
That was Will's Jams from Big Shiny Spoons. Before that, Solar Power to the People was from Schoolhouse Rock Earth. Pete Seeger brought us Solartopia with Dar Williams and a whole lot of others from Tomorrow's Children. You've been listening to the Children's Hour. I'm Katie Stone. Learn more about us at childrenshour.org. We'll catch you next time.
The Children's Hour is produced by the Children's Hour Incorporated, a New Mexico nonprofit.
You can find photos, links, learn-along guides, and more about us at childrenshour.org.
This episode of the Children's Hour was written and produced by me, Katie Stone, with production help from Thaniel Lentz and Sarah Gabrielli. Chad Shear recorded our show at Outpost, and Amber Scheel writes our learning materials. You can find this week's at childrenshour.org. Look for Renewable Energy.
Find our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to our patreon.com/The Children's Hour. Or ask your smart speaker to play the Children's Hour podcast.
Our theme music was written by C.K. Barlow.
The Children's Hour is distributed by Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Children's Hour, Kids Public Radio.